Hi, and I am Donna Davidge. I'm Rita, owner of Schoolhouse Yoga Retreat in Northern Maine, where we've been offering yoga retreats since 1997, long before it became this huge wellness trend. So here we are in the Schoolhouse living room in this embracing historic home. What I'd like to talk about today briefly is hip replacement. So it seems like that's a very common thing for people that I've been around lately, my age and stage of life, and younger. And so I want to just say, I used to think this was a lot more complicated than it really is. We had someone here this summer at the Soul House Yoga Retreat, man who was not too old and not too young, and he had had both of his hips replaced. I have other friends and other students that have also gone through hip replacement. What I'm realizing is that he did really well with that, even with the things I recommended that he avoid. So I think you really have to listen to your body. The two main things that I understand are important to pay attention to if you have hip replacement is external and internal rotation of your hips. So right now, sitting cross-legged, this is external rotation. If I do something like this, cradle the baby, external rotation. If I do something like the butterfly pose, external rotation. So where does the internal rotation come in? Internal rotation would be something like this. Now this is internal rotation. It could also be if you are up in one of the warrior poses, but I'm not going to stand up right this moment, but you know the warrior pose. You have the forward knee bent, the back leg straight, or either facing forward for warrior one or open. In both of those positions, you do not want your knee to fall in. That's internal rotation. So this is a very brief explanation for those who've had hip replacement. And if you have hip issues or want to avoid hip issues, these are probably good guidelines for you as well. I had a couple falls, one in mud and one on a route. Hiking this summer at Schoolhouse, could feel my right hip a little bit in external rotation. So if you're healing a hurt hip or you want to avoid hurting your hips, just pay attention to that. If your hips are healthy, which mine generally are, then you're going to have no problem. But this is really geared towards those of us who've had hip replacement surgery or have hip issues. And the other thing that is probably not so comfortable is to sit like this. It might be. The only thing I can say is listen to your body. So I hope these guidelines will help you. Little brief introduction to the idea of external and internal rotation of your hips for those that have had hip replacement surgery. All right, thanks. And I'll be thinking up some more tips as they come along and people ask questions. So have a great day and be well.